Amaka was a bright light in a world that often seemed dull and gray. She had a spark in her eyes that hinted a deep wisdom and understanding of the human heart. By day, she was a florist. By day, she was a florist, crafting beautiful bouquets that brought joy to all who received them. But by night, she donned a different heart, that of a hookup girl, with a gift of listening and a heart full of compassion. Amaka brought people together, helping those who had lost their way find love and connection again. Her motto was simple, yet profound. Everyone deserves a chance at happiness. As news of her gift spread, people began to seek her out, drawn by the promise of hope and renewal. And Amaka, with her infectious laughter and generous spirit, was always ready to help, one connection at a time. Amaka's journey as the hookup girl began unexpectedly, born from her own experiences of heartbreak and loss. After a painful divorce, she found herself alone, struggling to reconnect with the world around her. But as she began to heal, she realized that her struggles had given her a unique gift, the ability to understand and connect with others on a deep level. As she started to rebuild her life, Amaka discovered a new passion of floristry. She found solace in the beauty and fragility of flowers and her talent for arranging them into stunning bouquets made her shop a go-to destination for those seeking to brighten someone's day. However, as she worked with flowers, Amaka began to notice a pattern. People would come to her shop not just to buy flowers, but to talk, to share their stories, and to seek advice. They were drawn to her warmth, her empathy, and her ability to listen without judgment. And as they shared their struggles and fears, Amaka found herself offering more than just a sympathetic ear. She was offering connections. At first, it was just a friend introducing a friend to someone they thought would be a great match. But soon, word began to spread about the hookup girl, the florist, with a gift of bringing people together. And as the requests poured in, Amaka realized that this was her true calling. With a newfound sense of purpose, Amaka threw herself into work. She began hosting events at her shop, creating spaces where people could come together, share their stories, and find connections. She developed a keen eye for compatibility, able to see beyond surface level traits and into the depths of someone's soul. As her reputation grew, so did her reach. People came from all over, seeking her help in finding love, friendship, and community. And Amaka, with her infectious laughter and generous spirit, was always ready to help, one connection at a time. But Amaka's work wasn't without its challenges. There were those who doubted her abilities, who saw her as nothing more than a matchmaker or a therapist. There were those who were skeptical of her methods, who thought that connection could be reduced to a simple algorithm or formula. Yet Amaka knew that connection was so much more than that. It was an art, a science, and a mystery all rolled into one. It was about understanding the intricacies of human heart, about seeing beyond the surface level and into the depths of someone's soul. And so she continued her work, undeterred by the skeptics and the naysayers. She continued to listen, to connect, and to bring people together. And as she did, her reputation grew, her reach expanded, and her impact was felt far and wide. Years went by, and Amaka's shop became a beacon of hope for those seeking connection. People came and went, each with their own story, each with their own struggles and fear. But they all left with one thing in common: a sense of hope, a sense of renewal, and a sense of connection. And Amaka, the hookup girl, was always at the center of it all. Her spark, her wisdom, and her generosity inspiring countless lives. As Amaka's reputation grew, she began to receive requests from people all over the world. She started a website and a social media presence, allowing her to connect with even more people. She began to offer online sessions, using video calls to connect with those who couldn't make it to her shop in person. One day, she received a message from a young woman named Norma who was struggling to find love after a string of failed relationships. Amaka listened to Norma's story, offering words of encouragement and support. She then set off to work, using her unique gift to search for a perfect match for Norma. Days turned into weeks, and Amaka finally found the perfect person, a kind and gentle man named Chijoke, who shared Norma's love of art and music. Amaka arranged for them to meet at her shop, and the connection was instant. They talked for hours, laughing and sharing stories, and Amaka knew that she had done it again. Norma and Chijoke's relationship blossomed, and they soon found themselves deeply falling in love. They returned to Amaka's shop, this time with flowers in hand, to thank her for bringing them together. Amaka beamed with pride, knowing that she made a real difference in their lives. But Amaka's work wasn't limited to romantic connections. She also helped friends find each other, estranged family members reconcile, and even business find their ideal partners. Her gift was vast and far reaching, and she used it to make the world a brighter, more loving place. As her fame grew, Amaka was approached by a publisher to write a book about her experiences. She hesitated at first, but eventually agreed, knowing that her story could inspire others to find their own path to connection. The book became a bestseller, and Amaka found herself on talk shows and podcasts, sharing her message with the world. Through it all, Amaka remained humble and grounded, knowing that her gift was not hers alone. She continued to listen, to connect, and to bring people together, always remembering the spark that had started it all, her own journey of healing and growth. Years later, Amaka's shop had become a legendary destination, a place where people came to find love, friendship, and community. And Amaka, the hookup girl, was still at the center of it all, her heart full of joy, her spirit full of light. One day, a young man named Obi walked into Amaka's shop, looking lost and uncertain. He is very rich, but had been struggling to find his place in the world, feeling like he didn't belong anywhere. Amaka listened to his story, her eyes filled with compassion and understanding. "I think I know just what you need," she said, a smile spreading across her face. "Come with me." She took Obi into a small room in the back of the shop, filled with books, art supplies, and comfortable chairs. It was her own personal sanctuary, where she came to recharge and reconnect with her own heart. "This is my sacred space," she said. "I want you to make it yours too." And with that, Amaka began to work her magic. She showed Obi how to paint, how to write poetry, and how to connect with his own inner self. She introduced him to her circle of friends, a diverse group of people who welcomed him with open arms. Slowly but surely, Obi began to find his footing. He discovered a passion for art and started selling his paintings at local galleries. He found a sense of purpose and a community that supported him every step of the way. Years later, Obi returned to Amaka's shop, this time with a smile on his face and a sense of gratitude in his heart. "You saved me, Amaka. You gave me hope," he said, his eyes shining with tears. "You showed me that I am worthy of love and connections. Please marry me." Amaka's eyes filled with tears too, as she hugged Obi tightly. "You were always worthy, Obi," she said. "My job is just to help you see it. You'll find a suitable partner that will complete your joy." And in that moment, Amaka knew that her work was done. Even with her type of job, Amaka avoids being in another relationship, nor talk about her previous marriage. She had helped countless people find connection, love, and purpose. She had made a difference in the world, and she was proud of the legacy she had created. But Amaka's story doesn't end there. She continued to work her magic, connecting people and bringing joy to those around her. And even though she faced challenges and setbacks along the way, she never lost sight of her purpose to spread love, kindness, and connection to all those she met. There was a regular customer in Amaka's shop, a man named Ike, who would come in every week to buy flowers. But despite the beauty of the blooms, Ike's face always wore a frown. Amaka noticed that he seemed troubled, and one day she decided to ask him what was wrong. Ike sighed. "It's my wife, Nkechi. We are always fighting, and I don't know how to make things right." Amaka listened attentively, her heart filled with compassion. She asked Ike to tell her more, and he shared the story of their troubled marriage. Amaka listened carefully, her intuition guiding her. "I think I can help you, Ike," she said with a smile. "You have to trust me." Ike was desperate, so he agreed to follow Amaka's advice. She told him to come back the next day, and when he did, she gave him a special bouquet of flowers. "These are not just flowers," she said. "They are infused with the energy of love and understanding. Give them to your wife and remember to listen to her heart." Ike did as Amaka instructed, and to his surprise, the flowers worked their magic. He and Nkechi began to communicate more effectively, and their fights became fewer and farther between. They started to reconnect, and their love began to flourish once again. Ike was overjoyed, and he returned to Amaka's shop, this time with a huge smile on his face. "Thank you, Amaka," he exclaimed. "You saved my marriage." Amaka beamed with pride, knowing that her gift had helped another person find love and connection. And from that day on, Ike and Nkechi became regular customers in her shop, always living with flowers and deeper understanding of each other's hearts. As Ike and Nkechi's relationship continued to blossom, they began to refer their friends and family to Amaka's shop. They would tell stories of how Amaka's flower and guidance had helped them walk through their issues and strengthen their love for each other. Soon, Amaka's shop became a go-to-go destination for couples seeking to improve their relationships. Amaka would work with each couple, using her intuition and gift to create personalized bouquet and offer guidance on how to communicate more effectively. One couple, Emeka and Ada, had been struggling to conceive. They had tried everything, but nothing seemed to work. Amaka listened to their story and created a special bouquet infused with the energy of fertility. She also gave them guidance on how to connect on a deeper level and support each other through the challenging times. To their surprise, Ada became pregnant. Soon after, they returned to Amaka's shop. overjoyed and grateful. Amaka's reputation as a relationship expert and healer spread far and wide, and her shop became a beacon of hope for those seeking love, connection, and guidance. Years later, Amaka's shop was still thriving, and she continued to help countless couples and individuals find love, connection, and inner peace. Her legacy lived on, a testament to power of love, compassion, and the human heart. As months passed, Amaka's shop became a beloved institution in the community. People came from far and wide to seek her guidance, to share in her wisdom, and to bask in her warmth. She became known as the Heart Connector, a nickname that suited her perfectly. One day, a young girl named Adanna wandered into the shop, her eyes wide with wonder. She had heard stories about Amaka's gift, and she was determined to learn from her. Amaka smiled, recognizing the curiosity and potential in the young girl's eyes. "Welcome, Adanna," she said, beckoning her closer. "I sense that you have a special gift of your own. Would you like to learn how to develop it?" Adanna nodded eagerly, and Amaka took her under her wing. Together, they explored the mystery of the heart, practicing meditation, intuition, and connection. Adanna proved to be a quick learner, and soon she was helping Amaka with her sessions, using her own gift to connect with others. As Adanna grew in her abilities, Amaka realized that it was time to pass the torch. She named Adanna her successor, entrusting her with the responsibility of carrying out her legacy. And with that, a new chapter began. Amaka continued to work in the background, offering guidance and support whenever needed. But she also knew that it was time to focus on her own heart's desires. She had always wanted to travel, to explore the world, and connect with people from different cultures. And so, she set off on a journey of self-discovery, using her gift to connect with strangers and friends alike. From the mountains of Tanzania to the beaches of Ghana, Amaka spread her message of love and connection. She met with spiritual leaders, learned from indigenous communities, and shared her own wisdom with those who sought it. And wherever she went, she left a trail of heart connections, a reminder that we are all linked in our humanity. Meanwhile, back in the shop, Adanna was thriving. She had taken Amaka's teachings and run with them, creating her own unique approach to heart connection. People came from far and wide to seek her guidance, and she welcomed them with open arms. And so the legacy continued, a never-ending web of heart connections that spanned the globe. Amaka's story had become a beacon of hope, a reminder that we are never alone and that our hearts are always connected. And as she looked out at the world, she knew that her work was done and that the future was bright. And so, Amaka's story comes full circle, a reminder that our lives are interconnected and that love and connections are always within reach. Thank you for listening to Twice with African Folktales once again. Bye.